All right. Good afternoon, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Thursday afternoon, June 15th, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern. We have a lot to talk about here. Markets are flying on up. It's been a great day all around. Great to have Leda here still with us and Felix. So John just before, Jeff and Michael and all of us just joining us here as well, Lawrence included. Just jump right back to the main chat there, Lawrence, just out of the questions support tab just inside our trading room. Great to have all of us back on social media, though, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, the works. So with that said, well, hey, how much higher are we going to squeeze up here on the SPY, on the S&P altogether? We'll get to that at the very end. We'll go through the whole, scanning in just a moment as well from top to bottom. I was just kind of beginning this meeting, kind of searching myself, and there's a couple of trades that I'm looking at currently. I've been poking at all from the day today. I stopped playing that U. That U trade was ripping my hair, making me rip my hair out all morning. I ended up getting some money back on it heading into the early afternoon, but then I lost on it again. The hell with this. AI is really the main trade I've been following going into the afternoon, really all day. But with that, hey, just rescanning myself prior to this meeting beginning. I got the stock up, wheels up, experience. I think it says trading over 1 million shares right now. And for how much it's up right now on the day, it's at the highs. It doesn't have terrible liquidity on the order book. I mean, I wish we saw better, but it's not miserable. I'm going to add this to our list, and hopefully, with the namesake it has up, hopefully that's a nice sign for what's to come. All right, so UP up on our watch list here. Like I said just a moment ago, AI. I have my chart all mapped out, lined up here. It already broke over most of those lines, in fact. This was just more food for thought, more just to keep in your back pocket. I made this post back on Monday this week for AI. Historical level, if this keeps really pushing up and blasts over $50, which is a key level to begin with, well, what's the next resistance from there? We're going to look at the SPY, the S&P in just a moment here to kind of decipher the same thing. Answers on the chart there, actually, but let me just jump to the monthly chart. You'll see. I want to show this here because we'll clip this, and in case if AI tops off at this historical range, it'll be pretty nice to kind of go back on. You can see here essentially, not perfect. I know a couple of tech analysis purists out there won't call this a doji, but it's close enough given the price and how far it dropped after, and just given the volatility of the trade recently. The more and more this pumps up, I'd be led to believe here that it's going to make a closer squeeze up to that historical. Now, if it's not there, there's actually another price I want to go back on. There's another price right here. It was a little under that, and it was also a doji, but from the weekly here too. It's like, what is that? That's like really close, 61.74, and then 71 on the close there. That is pretty darn close too. So I'm going to say the combination of those two levels together will create a pretty big historical range of resistance for this AI. Obviously, on deck is this $50 major resistance first, just key half-century level and psychological resistance. So for right now, we're going to put this back on our watch list. It's up over 10%. Markets are flying. Like I said, we'll get to the S&P, the SPY at the end. Stay tuned for all of us on social. Just stick with us here. We'll just be about finished up in just a moment. We'll get to the SPY. We have a very similar type of historical level to keep your eyes on. It's getting pretty close to it now. So let's actually be quick. Let's go from top to bottom now. Otherwise, got the EDTX trade. What the hell happened here? I've been so focused on AI and the market, I just haven't even noticed this actually. So EDTX, just very thin volume on the book, just kind of a pop up right now out of the moment. But that it's breaking all-time highs, I reckon too. But it's more of a gamble stock than anything. There's way better trades that are going to be much easier for you to make money on. Not even in terms of just liquidity, but perhaps in terms of trend too. Even if this pushes up, doesn't mean it's going to be an easy trade. So, if you know how to get in and out at market, if you know how to get in and out using a limit, then that's one thing. But using a market order on this type of trade, you're going to get crushed by the spread. So, JFDR, pop and drop type of stock. I think one of our members had recommended this just at first, at the time had good liquidity. And just the thing on this type of trade is that once the volume peaks and dies off, then typically, unless if the stock just immediately runs higher, if it stalls out, odds are it's going to tank pretty shortly after. So you can say the same thing here on Nikola too. Geez, and Nikola, I don't think his low float, right? That had a pretty big float back when we were trading it off its IPO. I don't have my Benzinga Pro up on me right now. Actually, let me just check my other screen. I might have it here. All right, so let's check together. What the hell happened to Nikola? What led to that massive drop? My shoot from the hip guess, I don't know. I could be wrong. Shoot from the hip guess, they ended up doing some sort of direct offering midday. Either that or it's just massive profit taking from that point. But let's see. Trading higher on heavy volume amid market strength. A little news from last week. No other news, though, on top. So this big drop off here could have just been massive profit taking. Perhaps people closing out some big trades just from $1. I thought it could have been news in relation to a direct offering of shares, common stock offering. That typically dilutes the stock price just very quickly. So big drop. Either way, not worth watching at this point, this trade, Nikola. It could be one to keep an eye on for tomorrow. Remember, folks, we were actually off on Monday, federal holiday on Monday. So, perhaps once we resume back on Tuesday, well, we'll look to see if this makes a better move again. But looks like this one's pretty much dried up. SDA, pass on that. Ooh, it's push on a ride, pushing back up towards $4 right now. Not a whole lot of volume got filled off of there just yet. You could even see that from the trade station matrix, our level 3. Not really a whole lot of volume filled there just so far, but it'll be a retest. The more times it knocks its head on that level, it's bound to make that bigger, reaction off of it. Now, let me ask us here inside our live trading room, perhaps maybe a couple of our students back from a year or two ago would know this one. What stock trades similar to this stock ride here? Back a year or two ago, there was some news with an EV company in relation to a contract with the U.S. Postal Service. Don't ask how I recall this so sharply. I have no life. But if you perhaps just remember the ticker, remember the name, do you recall? I know all the juicy details because, geez, I got nothing else going on here. Bill saying Workhorse, WKHS. Nice pop here over 4. Yeah, Workhorse. WKHS, nice little move there. And Workhorse today made a nice pop as well from $1 up towards 118. And this was the company, I think, that had the partnership with Lordstown, that being Ride, and the USPS contract that ended up going south. You could see what happened to the tickers afterwards. So, perhaps a big short squeeze on this one for right now. Ride, definitely. All right, we got to keep it moving, folks. I mean, the SPY is ripping right now, so I want to kind of call out our historical level to watch out for. It might be easy to say now at this stage, but if you're in our live trading room, hey, for any of our members there, we were talking about it earlier on the audio commentary in the morning. I wrote it in the chat board earlier and reposted it. We'll talk about it coming up. Boyle's up big today. It is at the highs too. So for that reason, it's, decent to put on our watch list. It's a little slow. So this thing really needs a kick, but low risk at that to at least put on the back ends. This would be high risk to put on our list. What the hell is happening here at this UTMA? At 1 o'clock in the afternoon, this thing went from 250 up to 340, back down to 210 or 202, the low it looks like there, by 145. So that's like an 18-minute move. And then it ended up retracing all the way back up to near 3. This is all over the map. All right, so we do embrace the volatility, right? It's a cheap stock. I wish this had a little bit more liquidity on the book. It is kind of holding under the VWAP price as well for right now. I'm not fully committed to this. I'm coming back to this at the end of this trade. This is all over the place. That could be good. That could be terrible. We got time to figure that out here just during this meeting. I skipped Carvana, didn't I? I definitely skipped CVNA, right? Yeah. All right. So Carvana alongside the AI trade, right? And Palantir and you're following earlier. So Carvana, another big squeeze. You could still see that historical level that we were talking about back a week ago on this trade, 28-ish. This was more of like a generalized range. So at the time, I was saying a little over 28. It could be 28.20, 28.50-ish. So, 28-ish. But we're getting closer to that mark right now. And yeah, definitely going to add CVNA back on there. Yeah. Is it looking better than ETH today? Yeah. All right. Got no more dad jokes from me today. Let's see what else we got. Oprah or Opera, whatever it is, OPRA, ended up making a nice squeeze up. And hey, happy Father's Day in advance to all of the working dads out there. give the big shout out to my dad coming up tomorrow, of course, with the markets closed on Monday. You know, that's for, I think technically Juneteenth. Hey, a good enough reason to slip Father's Day in for that too, right? That should always be a federal holiday. Mother's Day, Father's Day, both should be a federal holiday. Easy. So this should really be like a nice 4-day weekend, if anything. Now, before we digress, OPRA, nice little push right now. It's making a really strong move on the daily chart. Holy smokes. This is more of a Captain Hindsight comment, but what a swing trade this has been. I mean, just the market's fully reversed from the beginning of this year anyway, but this ended up flying. What is that, like a 7x move from 4 to 21 plus? Breaking all-time highs. All right, sold. That sold me. OPRA. Tito's back on the watch list. Fausto, I'm a big fan of the stock typically. Let's see if this is making any sort of nice move for us, though. This thing took a huge hit. That's right, back from like a week or two ago. Dropped off, gapped down. It's a tougher trade now. It's a tougher trade. There you go, Bill. Got a couple of us there. I'm sure that would agree with you. He says, fan of the vodka. It actually is a very, it's been a very good vodka for the price. I'm not a big vodka drinker either nowadays, but that actually I do know. Looking for efficiency there. I guess Tito's would be your go-to. All right. I got to make them a sponsor before I talk any further about them. Let's keep it going, folks. Let's hop over to the loser side right now. MRSN. This already made a good enough move for us from the morning. It was down like 75% early, I think, in pre-market hours. Made a great squeeze. So actually, I'll zoom in on the chart. Pre-market mainly it started off at, and actually on this, we got a little time. I think I still have it up on my level 4. So I was really hoping to catch this in pre-market. Rich was looking at this at first, and it was dropping off so fast. I was like, don't even show it in the room because it's going to be like just way too dangerous. This was back here at the time, and it just tanked. So this was more kind of fortunate timing in terms of finding the iceberg. I turned back to this trade pretty much right here. There was a 31,000 share iceberg on the bid right off of 290. The issue, though, for me was that this didn't fill it. It didn't break under and over, and I just didn't feel keen enough to jump in. I was setting myself up for the morning. I wasn't hunting for pre-market, but just this could have been for the taking, and that's what really started the dead cat bounce. Led to a phenomenal squeeze up at that time and continued all the way through heading into the early afternoon. So, hey, for right now, this trade ended up dumping off. It's not looking as good now at this stage, so more flat. CRVS dropped off. Not a whole lot happening right now, though, on that trade. Edit, same deal. Ooh, Peloton down big. I don't know what news came out on them. Honestly, starting to run a little thin on time. We'll keep it going, but Peloton for right now, we'll definitely put on our main list. And if the markets top off here off my historical level, make a sharp drop off it soon, then this can drop off pretty steady there, right? So it could be a decent short opportunity should the markets end up topping off sooner than later. And, by the way, folks, when I say historical, that doesn't mean it's going to be like the top and then we're down for a bear market. We're just talking about day trading here. So the more the SPY pumps up, you're going to figure it's going to test a major level and hold it the first time. So that's where I'm kind of calling out that historical. It's off actually the price triple fours. A little over triple fours there. 444. All right. So if there is anything else, folks, just type it in the chat board right now. John with a couple stocks he's thinking about, but not probably some option plays there on Costco maybe, but Boyle we have on our watch list. Nikola is just I think done with for right now. The AU trade, good sideless stock, good with gold. Michael saying cold gap down. Too expensive, way too thin, Mike. That latest saying Rivian pop going anywhere. That could be a trade. All right. Now, this is one I'll look at news for because this is a pretty recent pop. What the heck happened here? We'll jump back to it. Nice call from Lita, and we're going to put this on our list right away. Is this going with the ride trade, just kind of an EV type of squeeze, or what's happening? So CFO on right now. It says some comments next year. It'll be taking up a couple of weeks of downtime, blah, 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 blah. All right, so it looks like some interview with the CFO. I don't know what channel, but either way, it led to a pretty good reaction. Nice call from Lita right now. Up over 5%, and definitely a stock that we are really familiar with. Good liquidity, good price. Bill says snoozing with my Ford, he says, with F Ford. Ford's good side of the stock today, going with the market. So keep trading that one, Bill. Bill hammers that one pretty nice. So, any sideless stocks that are going with the market right now, I'm sure I'll say the same thing for you there. Like, if it's Shopify, I haven't even looked at Shopify today. Hey, at the highs, it's not up much percentage wise. If you do well in Shopify, you're trading that today, stick with it. GM, same thing. You're going to see a lot of that just with the way the markets are moving right now, folks. But that doesn't mean that everything's going to be like a crazy, efficiently volatile day trade that's going to make you money. So, for right now, the stocks that we're focused on, I would start and stick with what we have on our watch list, at least to begin. But with that, let me jump to the SPY right now. And I got to switch my chart here before my platform crashes on me. There we go. All right. So do I have it? I have it. There we go. Ended up breaking above closing print off of 437.18 from earlier and just led to the run from that point, right? I thought that we'd see support build off there earlier, but then ended up just continuing off higher lows. But the way this is moving right now, it's going right up towards historical level off of 444.35. And let me show you why or how I got that price. So let's see. Oh, geez, this is the SPY. I got to switch back. All right, hopefully my stuff doesn't freeze. Let's take a look here. It might be on the daily chart. I think it's the daily chart on this one because we broke above the last doji on the weekly off 432. That was the last big one I had. So once it broke 432, all bets were really off. Let's go all the way back. 444. There we go. Just doji on the daily. 445. No, there should have been another one there. I don't want to look bad right now. Doji from the daily chart, I think it was. If it wasn't the daily, then it was just off the weekly or daily chart. But I thought I had it just before. My bad, folks. It was off 444s, though. Obviously, I had the level just lined up. Shoot, looking bad right now. I'm mixing up all my prices here today. Let's see if I can get this quick. There you go. Bam, at the last second. Back from March 21st, 2022. There we go. Now, if it breaks that, obviously, it'll keep going up towards 445 and change. But, this is the price that I've been kind of hyper-focused on from earlier today. We called this price out. This is back from March of 22, the last daily chart doji. There we go. All right, so, folks, let me know what you got. If there's anything else that looks good. Great call from Leda on that Rivian. I like that. Check Benzinga Pro screener here or scanner, see if there's anything else left. Over 1 million shares soon. EPLD, ooh, AI stock. That's right. I forgot about that one. Gas, Sofa. All right, there's a couple that we'll take a look at actually here. Stock AAOI could be a nice short squeeze stock. This one in the past has done pretty well. It ended up dropping off for quite a while. So that's where the shorts may look to cover on a trade like this. Let me jump back. There we go. Oh, it's been on a nice tear really from the last few days. I haven't even noticed that. We haven't called the stock out really, AAOI, but stock dropped off from like 110 all the way down. So does have some short squeeze potential. It's up nearly 10%. We didn't find this before, so it's a good add. Got the APLD trade. This is breaking a new HOD right now as we speak. I hope I didn't miss AI. All right, good. Didn't miss AI. Wow. So APLD gaining some steam even with AI kind of choppy. That makes this trade even sweeter if AI and the rest of the, NVIDIA, AI stocks as well look to pop higher. NVIDIA no brainer will add to our list. I just kind of thought about that at the end. I would have mentioned that before. Right off of 430 key level. That was back from, I think, a couple days ago or maybe even yesterday. Yeah, back yesterday, 429.97 was the closing print back from yesterday. So just cleared it earlier, shook around it as support at first, but now with it kind of back to the highs here, it looks like we're just going to keep getting the squeeze. So NVIDIA definitely putting back on our watch list. I would stay away from that Kappa trade, Jeff. CAVA, there are much better stocks out there to try and look at right now. Unless if the order book filled in. Hey, it ran up earlier. If people made money on it, that's sweet. But this is just way thinner volume out there compared to even AI, compared to even NVIDIA. NVIDIA has better liquidity than that. So, if that runs up without me, that's totally fine. Hakuna Matata. I've been waiting to drop that line in this meeting today. I was actually going to use that for the end. So how about that? Hakuna Matata there, Jeff. Bill saying, John G, I may have to add that to liquid. Michael saying, any news about Lyft being bought out? Ooh. Let's take a look at that before we wrap. Current time right now is 2:50. I got to jump here pretty soon, folks. But let me take a look. EPTV CFO says Motional ramping up commercial agreements with Lyft, Uber for robotaxi, food delivery. Nothing in relation to Lyft being bought out, Mike. But now that you mentioned that, that'll be in the back of my head. I'm going to keep my eyes peeled. I appreciate that. Could be a rumor, but that's the first I heard about it. So that'll be interesting if that's made official or if there's any more news on that or rumors. So there we go, Dave, seconding Mike there, saying I saw a headline on it today. Cool. There you go, Mike. Appreciate that. All right, last one from Sam. We got to wrap up. We got a good list already, folks. This goes back to what I said yesterday. I was pretty firm about it, but you don't need to try and find the next mover when we already have a really solid list. All right, so with that, folks, we're going to wrap up. Hey, if you're on social media, Facebook Live, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, etc., first and foremost, hey, if you're not subscribed yet, right to our YouTube channel, please do so right now. That being youtube.com/cybertradingu. Be a friend, tell a friend as well. Hey, we're going to be posting a few different shorts and videos over the next day or two as well, just from webinars and events that we've done from this week, classes included. So stay tuned, keep your eyes peeled for that. But if you're interested in joining us inside our live trading room, just go right down to the link on the green banner below the stream to get yourself set up or started, to join students like Grant, Michael, Lita, Kathleen, Felix right now, John, etc. And otherwise, hey, any questions that you got for myself, shoot me over a quick email, josh@ctutrading.com. A scratchy throat meeting here today. A lot of talking here today, actually, mind you. So my apologies on that. We'll be good for tomorrow to wrap up. And again, folks, just another quick reminder. We will be off on Monday. We're just making that in advance, that notice in advance. There's always a couple of us that forget. It's actually a new holiday just to have off federal holidays. So, with that being said, a couple of us may forget. So I just want to mention that now. Upcoming this Monday, markets are going to be closed. Did I talk about you? I didn't talk about you yet, Jeff. No, I'm kidding. That's my last dad joke of the day. Making a nice squeeze back up, I guess here, right? Back off of 41, under and over. It's not up enough for me to be too interested in it just yet. And I'm not just saying that because it had my number earlier, but for right now, I just think that there could be better trades for right now. If this continues to trend by 3:15 or 3:10 in the afternoon, then I'll have some more focus on it. How about that? But for right now, Chuck's saying right from our watch list already, makes the list here, CVNA. It was already on there, and that's trying to go back up. So, folks, we'll finish up for right now. Hey, best of luck trading going into the market close. We'll catch back with everyone going into tomorrow morning. Take care.